Hello and welcome to Module 7 of Principles of Marketing. In this module, we'll be going over place, direct versus indirect channels, channel conflict, and product marketing. So starting off with place, the definition of place, it refers to how you get your products from the producer, which is the original manufacturer, to the consumer, who is the final person to use the product. So examples of this could be Dell computers, how they used to sell direct to consumers, but then added retail distributions to their channels. So for example, you can walk into a Costco or a Best Buy and you can purchase a Dell computer. Distribution channels cover all the activities needed to transfer the ownership of goods and move them from the point of production to the point of consumption. So this includes product flow, negotiation flow, ownership flow, information flow, and promotion flow. So lots of different distribution channels here. And here's kind of for our visual learners here. Here's a visual here that kind of shows all the different flows here and how they start from manufacturers and how they go down to consumers. So you can see here we have transportation, possibly warehousing, advertising agency, again, transportation, bottlers and distributors, and if it's some sort of product that's in a bottle, supermarkets, if it's an item that's purchased or sold in a supermarket, and then the consumers. So channel partners is the producer of the product. So this could be a manufacturer or farmer or some other sort of producer here. So you're thinking fruits and vegetables, it would be the producer would be the farmer. The user of the product is the individual, the household business, buyer, institution, government, yourself, possibly. Middleman at the wholesale or retail level. So again, if you're Dell Computers, the end consumer may be you or me, but the middleman could be Best Buy. So an example here is Whole Foods. So how do your groceries get to the right place at the right cost? Whole Foods has a model called Whole Foods, Whole People, Whole Planet. The company's strategy is to source locally whenever possible. So how Whole Foods fills its shelf is its distribution strategy. And to learn more about that, please click on this YouTube video here and watch the short video. I won't do it in the presentation right here, but I'll let you guys do that on your own there. Intermediaries, wholesalers, distributors, and other channel specialists that help producers get their product distributed to final consumers. These are the behind-the-scenes intermediaries, are often unknown by the consumer. So people that are working behind the scenes that you don't even realize are happening. Now we have direct versus indirect channels. So a direct channel is the producer sells directly to the consumer. This usually producers that sell in small quantities. So if you visit a farmer's market, you can purchase goods directly from the farmer, the craftsman, or for example, just the other day I was at an event and it was an Italian company that sold cannolis. And they sell their cannolis to either farmers markets or they sell to retail items. But if you buy directly from them at the farmers market, that's considered a direct channel. Services may also be sold through direct channels. An individual buys a service directly from the provider who delivers the service. Examples of this, not just farmers markets, but maybe Etsy or other online marketplaces. I know Shop My Porch is a really big marketplace right now that's online. There's Facebook groups where you can purchase direct. It's so easy now with paying with PayPal and Venmo that direct channels you can buy from a lot of these small businesses and craftspeople. Oracle's personal sales team that sells software systems to businesses, so that's direct. Even though it's a huge company, the sales team is selling directly to the business. So it's business to business instead of business to consumers. A bake sale can also be an example of a direct channel. So, you know, if you have the kids down the street selling baked goods or lemonade, that's still a direct channel because they're selling directly to the consumer. So a few different scenarios here on how you can use direct channel distribution. Indirect channel is when there's a third party or behind the scenes person that is between the selling brand and the buying customer. The third party is simply another business separate from the brand whose products it carries. A lot of times this could be a broker. Perhaps you are purchasing promotional products. You're buying 1,000 pens with your company logo on them for promotional reasons. You could go to one person, a broker, they could find the best deal out of all the people who makes and prints these pens with your logo on them and give you the best price. A lot of brokers are used with print business, people who still get printing done, like flyers, banners, uh, postcards, things that go in the mail, that you might use a print broker first, and they would reach out to all the different printers that they work with to get you the best deal, the best price, and the best turnaround time. So these are people that work behind the scenes, indirect channels. Here's a little visual here. So we start with the manufacturers. A direct would be manufactured directly to the consumer. Indirects would be a manufacturer to a retailer first, and then the consumer. Manufacturer to a wholesaler, retailer, and customer. Manufacturer to an agent first. So agent, broker, same sort of thing. A retail channel. Retailers are companies in the channel that focuses on selling directly to consumers. Daily participation, because retail shops are open pretty much every day. Some are closed on Sundays, but most of them are open Monday through Friday, basic business hours. The retailer doesn't produce the product. They purchase the product from the makers and then sell them to the consumers. They usually, or in every case, the retailer ups the price. So they buy directly from the maker at a low cost in large quantities, and then they're able to upsell it directly to the consumer. So examples of retailers could be, your basic Walmart stores. Amazon is a retail channel, Nordstrom's, Dairy Queen. I mean, the list goes on and on. There's so many retail channels out there. Best Buy would be it, Costco. So direct versus retail, the difference here. Based on your marketing product or service, do you have a direct or indirect distribution? So that's something to ask yourself as you're creating your marketing plan. Would your product or service benefit from a retail channel? How do you want to sell your product? How does the customer want to buy your product? So right now, using that cannoli samples, this person who's creating these cannolis, they're selling in the farmers markets and they're selling to small stores. So they are already selling retail and they're also selling direct. So think, could this cannoli person benefit more if he sold only retail, if he sold only direct, or if he continued to do both? So think about the pros and cons when you're creating your marketing plan, whether you want to sell direct, indirect, or retail. Distribution. So the intensity of distribution, the level of distribution a company chooses to select depending on its needs. There's intensive, selective, and exclusive. So intensive here is distribution through every possible channel partner in a market. That's intense. It's also going to take a lot of dollars to do this, right? Selective, distribution through multiple but not all channel partners in a market. And then exclusive, distribution through a single channel partner in a market. So depending on your product or service, you need to figure out here your level of distribution. You can always start with one and change it to something else later. That's not a problem at all. So here's an example of intensive distribution is Coca-Cola. You can buy Coke anywhere, a restaurant, a grocery store, convenience store, global. You can always find a Coca-Cola, right? This brand wants a presence everywhere they can. Selective distribution would be like a Rolex. It chooses multiple but not all possible distributors for their products. Maintains brand image, which is a premium luxury brand that conveys status to the wearer. So Rolex might be sold in higher end stores like a Nordstrom's, but they probably won't be selling Rolex watches in a Walmart, right? So selective distribution, they pick and choose where they want to sell their product. Exclusive distribution, an example of this is your iPhone. So a single distribution partner or just one per market must balance the desire to put their products in every possible channel against ensuring those channels won't have a negative effect on the brand's image. So for example, iPhone has an exclusive agreement deal with AT&T. Maybe a Samsung has an exclusive agreement with Verizon. So this is exclusive distribution. Although you are seeing iPhones more and more at different stores now. So they are kind of maybe jumping more towards intensive distribution, the iPhones, if you follow them. Channel conflict. So what is a channel conflict? It's when a brand uses more than one channel, either direct or indirect, and a conflict can eventually occur. The conflict occurs because channel members can interfere with each other's objectives. Managing conflict, determining fair pricing, and balancing benefits are vital to distribution channel successes. So going back to the cannoli example, how much is he selling the cannoli at a farmer's market? Maybe it's $5 a cannoli. How much is he selling the cannoli at a Trader Joe's? Maybe he sells the cannolis at Trader Joe's for $3 a cannoli, and then Trader Joe's turns around and sells the cannolis for $7 a cannoli. Is that going to cause a conflict? It could not. Loyalty, so staying together despite the conflict. Voice, expressing the dissatisfaction and discussing how to resolve it. Neglect, ignoring the conflict and accepting the relationship consequences. Aggression, taking action to harm the other partner in the relationship. Exit, leaving the relationship. So maybe the cannolis, after 6 months of selling in Trader Joe's, they realize that there is a big conflict and they want to exit or leave the relationship. Or maybe the conflict isn't that big of a deal, so they ignore the conflict and accept the relationship consequences. Maybe there aren't really that many consequences. Maybe they're still seeing the same number of customers at both locations. So an activity for place, just to give you guys a scenario and some things to think about while you're developing your marketing plan. So here's a scenario here. A small but up-and-coming luxury consumer brand is looking to expand its market presence. The brand's identity is very much defined by selling high-end premium consumer products through brick-and-mortar stores using a small, direct sales team that prides itself on providing stellar customer service during the sales process. Company management realizes that the demand for its products is high enough that it will lose revenue opportunities if it doesn't expand its sales channel. At the same time, management worries about maintaining the culture and service quality if the sales channel expands through indirect distribution, such as through the addition of retail partners. So some things to think about in this is, what is your product? How would you recommend that this brand expand its sales channel? And given the characteristics of this brand, what intensity of distribution makes the most sense and why? So you definitely don't have to do anything with this. It's just really just for you guys to kind of think about while you do your own marketing plan and you figure out your own product and service. So some takeaways of this could be, where you sell is a large part of how you sell. So if you're selling at a farmer's market or if you're selling directly to Trader Joe's, there are upsides and downsides for the various channels. There's no perfect strategy for all companies. So going back to the cannoli example, maybe it's easier for the cannoli maker to sell to Trader Joe's because he only bakes one time a week, a huge batch, and he sells them all and he's guaranteed an income. Whereas when he sells at the farmer's market, he has to cook or bake every day. He never knows what to expect in traffic and how many cannolis he's going to sell. Where for sure at Trader Joe's, he's going to sell 2,000 a week. At the farmer's market, it could be different every week. So different strategies, ups and downs. This is a very current topic and decision that many companies are facing. Do we sell online? If so, where do we sell online? Brick and mortar, online, or selling to retail stores? All things you got to think about. Next, we're going to go over product marketing, which is the process that brings a product to market, promoting it, and selling it to a customer. It involves understanding the product's target audience and using strategic positioning and messaging to boost revenue and demand for the product. It's the core of the marketing mix. So remember, the marketing mix, very important key term here. What is the product? A bundle of attributes, so features, functions, benefits, and uses that a person receives in an exchange. So an idea could be recycling, a physical good such as a pair of jeans, a service such as banking, or any combination of these three. Products are divided into consumer and businesses, or B2B, which is business to business products. Here's a visual here that is the 4 levels of the product. So we have the core product, which is the benefit system, the tangible product, which is the packaging, the features, the styling, warranty, quality, brand name. So think about your phone. How is your phone packaged? What are the features of your cell phone? The styling, the warranty of your cell phone, the quality, the brand name, iPhone, Samsung. Augmented product, the installation, after sales service, credit, delivery. What do you have to do to install an iPhone? Well, you don't really have to do anything if you have an iCloud. Delivery, you're getting it shipped to you, or are you picking it up at like an AT&T store? After sales service, are you buying extended warranty? Are you buying insurance? Are you buying cords? What else do you buy for your iPhone? Headphones or cases, screen protectors. Promise product, hold value, trade-in, dependability, and status. Well, there's always a new iPhone coming out, right? So it's like they want you to upgrade. It does hold value because you can turn it in for credit. So that's kind of like the trade in there. And they are pretty dependable, the phones these days. Why is product marketing important? Without product marketing, your product won't achieve its maximum potential among your target audience. Understanding your customers better, you target your buyer personas effectively, learn about your competitors, products, and marketing tactics, ensure the marketing, product, and sales teams are all on the same page, position the product appropriately in the market, and boost revenue and improve sales, which is the most important part of selling a product. Here's another visual here on how marketing, sales, and product all work together, and it's product marketing. So if you work for a big business and you're a marketer, you're going to be working very closely with sales and product development. If you're a sales manager or a sales rep, you're going to be working very closely with marketing and product development. All three of them work together. So product marketing strategy. Define your product's target audience and buyer personas. So this is for your marketing plan here. Determine the positioning and messaging to set your product apart. Set goals for your product, price your product, and then launch your product. What specifically makes your product unique? Remember the differentiators. Why is your product better than your competitors? Why are your product features ideal for your target audience? What will your customers get out of the product if they cannot get from competitors' products? Why should your customers trust and invest in you and your product? These are all things you need to answer in your marketing plan. So, example, Coca-Cola, back to the Coca-Cola. Hope we don't have any huge Pepsi fans here. Over 95% of people around the world recognize Coca-Cola and its red and white branding, right? This comes at no surprise when you notice that people order a Coke when purchasing a soft drink or a cola. In fact, the brand recognition is so strong that Coca-Cola's competitor Pepsi used the narrative in its Super Bowl advertising. Through highly targeted positioning, repetitive advertising, and consistent branding, Coca-Cola has become a truly global household name and product. So to learn more about this, please click on the YouTube video. It's short, sweet. I'm not going to play it here, but I want you guys all to watch that. Lastly, we have new product development. So this is the internet has increased the pace and importance of new product development. You always got to be coming out with new things and being innovative. New products have greater risk, but may bring greater rewards. Some may not be successful, but some might be. So the stages of new product development is idea generation and screening a product idea, concept development and testing, business case analysis, technical and marketing development, test marketing, launch, and evaluation. A business case analysis. So before companies make a significant investment in a product's development, they need to be sure that it will bring a sufficient return. What is the market opportunity for this product? What are the costs to bring the product to market? What are the costs through the product life cycle? Where does the product fit in the product portfolio, and how will it impact existing product sales? And how does this product impact the brand? Does it stay on brand? Is it going off brand? Is it going to change the mission statement? So an example of this is I worked for a company, it was a software company. They were trying to be innovative. They came out with a new software. I worked very closely with operations, product development, and sales team. And we did a series of tests and stages. And at a certain point, we had to report, is this a go or no go product? And we spent about 6 months on this product development, and it ended up being a no-go. We didn't go through with it. Why? Because of the test marketing. Stage 5. We tested it, and it didn't go. It wasn't innovative enough, so we had to go back to the drawing board. So when you go through these stages, it's not always going to launch, and it doesn't have to always launch. So something to think about. Launch marketing strategies, so press strategies, press release to get earned media to build visibility and credibility. So this is when we're at the launch stage, stage 6. Price discounts, channel partner incentives to encourage partners to sell or distribute the new product. So you might be using these launch marketing strategies when you launch your product or services. When I first launched Janibik Communications, I definitely had a price discount for the first 6 months People got my services very inexpensive. After the first 6 months, my prices went up. After a year, my prices went up again. And at year 3, my prices went up again. So I did not do a press release, but I did do a lot of, I did have a launch campaign all over social media and through email. So module 7 assignments, which will be due the end of this week, is going to be your check-in for strange food. This is always a fun one, seeing the strangest food that everyone has eaten. Very interesting. And assignment 6 will be retail as a part of place.